You can't climb the ladder of success without your hands in pocket. Don't start a company unless it is an obsession and something you love. If you have an exit strategy, it's not an obsession. No matter how brilliant your mind or your strategy, if you are planning a solo game.
You're muted, Dr. Akanksha.
Okay, I'm starting once again. You can't is definitely not an obsession. No matter how brilliant your mind or your strategy, if you are planning a solo game, you will always lose out to a team. With these quotes, I, Dr. Akanksha Sinha, welcome you all. The third session. You can take entrepreneurship as a career option. Dr. Kavita Sinha, who is an educator, who is a she's Associate Education and Research, Ahmedabad, Goa Institute of Management, and many other reputed institutions of India for teaching, training, and mentoring of students' startups. Apart from teaching, she is actively involved in training programs and sensitization workshops for aspiring and existing entrepreneurs. Dr. Kavita Saxena has co-authored a book on emerging trends in entrepreneurship research, review of Journal of Entrepreneurship, and have published many research papers and articles in journals and magazines of national and international repute. Madam has recently completed a DST-sponsored research study on women entrepreneurship in India, key challenges and critical success factors. Currently, Kavita ma'am is implementing a Handmade in India project at EDII supported by HSBC, a handloom cluster development in Surendranagar district, leading to livelihood generation and overall social development of Patola and Tangalia weavers in that region. Right from idea generation workshops to new product development and small business promotion, Dr. Saxena actively involved with student startups and women entrepreneurs and provide them hand-holding support and guidance to create Norman Foundation, growing and building transformation-centric innovation in Germany, sponsored by AICTE UKD Leadership Development Program and completed. She is awarded CMI AICTE. She is awarded CMI Level 5 Certificate in Management and Leadership in December 2020. Kavita ma'am is quite interested in interacting and guiding budding brains who are the crossover of their lives and need strong motivation and guidance to be self-employed and independent. Well, I think the day will pass on to speak on the what are the feathers in ma'am's cap. So better I should be mute till for now. One request I would like to make to all the participants present here. Throughout the talk, you all are requested to mute yourself. You can pen down your questions or queries by the end of the session. We will take up at the end. By then, kindly mute and stay muted. So now over to you, Kavita ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sinha. It was indeed an elaborate introduction. Thank you so much. So, good morning, all of you. It is always a pleasure to, come back to this institute and, share my knowledge and experience with students as well as startups working on their ideas. I would like to thank Ms. Chaudhary for giving me this opportunity one more time. Thank you so much. So
Thank you for your time as well, because without your time, it wouldn't have been possible.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Pleasure is mine. I'll just share the screen and then we will start. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we have around 49 to 50 participants with us right now. And yes, as Dr. Sinha said, today we are going to spend some time on understanding entrepreneurship as a career option. We will also try to take up some examples of startups from India, and at the same time, some important facets of entrepreneurship that are very, very important and essential for all of you to understand and learn, right? So let us start. As I'm told that, we have a bunch of existing startups as well as students who aspire to be startups. So let me begin. In between, let us make it very, very interactive. Whenever I ask anything, you can unmute yourselves, but then immediately mute yourself so that, the class is not disturbed. All right, so let us start. I'm sure all of you have, heard these words in last few years, right? Whether you talk about Make in India, Startup India, Stand Up India, empowering youth, skill development, entrepreneurship, all of you are familiar with these terms, right? So when the entire country is talking about entrepreneurship, right? I thought that it will be very, very apt to discuss some very, very crucial aspects related to entrepreneurship with all of you. And so this topic was chosen as entrepreneurship as a career option, right? Now, let me ask a question to all of you. Do you wish to give wings to your dreams? You can write your responses in the chat also. Right? So, yes. So, Kalyan, Bhanu Pratap, Lakshmi Narayan, everybody is saying yes, yes, yes. Right? So, everybody wants to give wings to their dreams, right? Now, here we have many students. Many of you have already started your working on your idea, but then this mindset or mind is very fragile, right? Zara si kuch gadbad hui ke you feel ke arey yaar, entrepreneurship is very risky. Should I go back to a job? What do I do, right? So most of you, it is high time that you choose what you want for yourself as a career option, right? Because all of you have two choices at this point of time. Either take up a dream job, right? Because you feel that there is a bright future ahead, or you have to decide whether you want chaos and confusion in your mind, right? You're not sure what you want to do. You want to take up a job, pursue higher studies, maybe MBA, MTech, engineering, anything, right? So a lot of confusion. And the choice is, there are two paths that you can travel. One is become an employee. Second is become an entrepreneur. So it is up to you to decide which one you want to choose, right? Because aisa nahi hai ki one is easy and the other one is difficult. Both of them have their own shares of challenges, right? But then you have to decide which path you want to travel, right? So if you think, or those of you who have already started working on some idea, right? Let us, my purpose is to sensitize all of you towards charms of becoming an entrepreneur. Now, if I randomly ask some of you that, how do you define an entrepreneur? What will be your answer? Who is an entrepreneur? How do you define an entrepreneur? Or how is an entrepreneur different from an employee?
Someone who has the ability to take risks.
Yes, absolutely. Very good. Somebody who is willing to take the risk, right? Absolutely. Anybody else? Lakshmi Narayan ji has written that somebody who is an innovator, okay? Somebody who is a risk taker, right? Anything else? Somebody who is a leader, okay? Or coach? Somebody who is solving serious issues of the society. Mr. Sanjeet. Somebody who has an idea, who works on an idea. Okay. So now we have lots of responses from the participants. Thank you so much. Problem solving ability. Okay. So in parts and parcel, all of you are correct, right? When you talk about an entrepreneur, risk is the biggest differentiating factor, right? Because ऐसा नहीं है कि जॉब में रिस्क नहीं होता, जॉब में भी रिस्क होता है, but the degree of risk is very less in job. Once you join a company, once you understand your role, once you start performing well, the risk decreases over a period of time, right? But in entrepreneurship, the risk is there at every step of your journey. You start with an idea, the idea becomes hit. A competitor enters with a better idea. So you start losing the competitors. You start losing your customers, right? The idea might fail, right? Or at one point of time, you run short of capital or resources to grow further. So the risk is there. But वो movie आपने देखी थी ना? Risk है तो इश्क है, right? So higher the risk, higher the return, right? So entrepreneurship is all about taking a risk, working on an idea, converting a challenge into an opportunity, identifying a problem, come out with a product which will solve the problem of the society, which will result into employment generation, which will result into welfare of the society in the long run, right? So all these things will become a part of an entrepreneurship. Is that clear, all of you? Right? So if I ask you further questions that, if you have to give me some points of difference between an entrepreneur and an employee, what will be those points of difference?
I suppose that entrepreneur has the ability to take the full decision of his business, while the employee is working under someone, so he's not that free.
Right. So as an entrepreneur, you are your own boss, right? So you have freedom to decide what you want to do. Nobody is going to give you commands, right? You will take the risk, you will take the decision. So you have complete control on what you want to do. But as an employee, you will have a fixed KRAs. You have to just follow them, right? You cannot use your creativity, or you cannot go out of the way to do the things which you are not expected to do. Very good. Yes. Any other point of difference between an employee and an employer? Vishal has written that somebody who finds an opportunity converts it into scenario to value-added products. Yes, Vishal, you are also right. Entrepreneurs are leaders and employees are followers. Yes. An entrepreneur is an accommodator. Okay, good. Anything else? Some striking points of difference. Those of you who are already startups, why you have chosen this path? Why you decided not to take up a job? What were those reasons? Okay. Datta says that idea is being implemented by entrepreneurs. Okay.
Entrepreneurs are problem solvers.
Yeah, they are problem solvers.
They identify the problem and then solve and make a big for the society.
Absolutely. So, and even Kashif has written that entrepreneur is an individual who creates new business, takes up risk, enjoys the rewards, different mindset, providing employment opportunities, absolutely. So if you look at some key differences, right, why people choose entrepreneurship, you have the liberty to do something creative. In a job as an employee, your freedom will be restricted, right? Your freedom will be restricted. As an entrepreneur, you will decide your work, you will decide your schedule, you get tremendous exposure, right? And you are free from the routine of monotonous life, because the life or journey of an entrepreneur is full of ups and downs. It is a very exciting journey. One day you see a downfall, the other day you see a big opportunity, isn't it? But if you take up a job, in 80% of the cases, it is the same task that you keep doing day and out, right? So that is what makes an entrepreneur different from an employee. And most important, what does this picture indicate on the screen? High money, right? Somebody has given examples. Kashif has given wonderful examples. Paisa hi paisa. All right. So if your idea succeeds, right? If your idea succeeds, as an employee, you get fixed salary, right? And then maybe annual increment or promotion or bonus or something like that. But as an entrepreneur, if your idea succeeds, there is no looking back. There is no higher cap or ceiling on how much money you can make as an entrepreneur, right? So it is very, very rewarding, very, very attractive option to pursue as a career. And if you look at some finer points of difference, see, work, effort, support, and income, the components are same in both the cases, right? But the difference is still there, right? As an employee, you do the work because you are expected to do. But as an entrepreneur, you do it because you are excited about it, right? You are passionate about your idea, right? You get sleepless nights if you're not able to crack a deal, right? But as an employee, you feel like, ठीक है, इस बार प्रमोशन नहीं मिला तो कोई बात नहीं, अगली बार मिल जाएगा. और प्रमोशन नहीं मिल रहा है तो let me change a job, let me apply somewhere else. But you cannot do that as an entrepreneur, that okay, let me close this business, right? You will have to put in serious efforts to do something all the time, isn't it? So there is a difference between employee and entrepreneurs. And when you say that, what you need to become an entrepreneur, understand that, there are some soft skills that you have to develop if you do not have them. Qualities like passion, tenacity, vision, and self-confidence. You need a great idea that people are willing to pay for, a plan for success, and continuous execution of the plan. If you look at, some of the successful entrepreneurs, whether, old industrialists who are very famous in our country or the new generation startup founders, you will see that, they are very, very passionate about their idea, about whatever they do, right? Somebody has written that take risk, passion, believe, start with minimal. Yes. So, I always tell my aspiring startups and students that, be very, very passionate about your idea. But at the same time, don't blindly fall in love with your idea. You should be open to criticism, right? Many times it will happen that you feel that my idea is revolutionary, it will change the world. But when the idea is presented in the market, it fails miserably. So then you should not get a heartbreak that, oh, mera to idea fail ho gaya, abhi main kuch nahi kar sakta. No, right? You have to take every failure, every criticism is to be taken with a pinch of salt, right? So failures will be a part of your entrepreneurial journey. You will see a lot of ups and downs. You remember the story of KFC founder, right? So at that age, after retirement in India, what do we do after retirement? We go for Char Dham ki yatra. right? Or we start taking care of, people start taking care of their grandchildren. But what did Dr. This KFC founder, what did he do after retirement at the age of 65 or 68? Anybody?
Ma'am, he started KFC and started selling his own recipe of chicken.
Right.
Door to door.
Yes.
The
And
beginning.
you know how many rejections he faced?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
He faced almost 999 rejections. And on the 1000th one, his idea was accepted. So ask yourself, do you have the tenacity to accept so many rejections in your journey? Most of the time, after 2-3 failures, we just give up, right? But he was confident because his family, his friends and relatives have tasted his chicken and they have given him assurance that it is a great recipe, right? So have confidence in your own self. Don't give up easily, right? So that is something which is needed, and that is very, very important. You have to follow your passion, right? And one thing that you have to remember is that, failure is considered as a taboo in our country, right? If you are a potential customer in the matrimonial market, right, in India, if your startups fail, or if you say that, especially in UP and north side states, if you say that, I'm working on a business idea, people may even not suggest you any matrimonial proposal, because they still look forward for a guy who is working in a government job, right, or a private company with a fancy job. But yes, it is changing gradually. In foreign countries, people really encourage, or they look forward to failures as important lessons, right? But in India, it is a taboo. It will still take some time, but the ecosystem is gradually developing. So time is not far when people will start celebrating failures in India also. All right, so moving ahead. Entrepreneurs recognize opportunities where others see chaos or confusion. For example, during pandemic, you must have seen that, a lot of businesses were closing down. Right? But then there were few, for example, in Ahmedabad, the city to which I belong, there was a family they were manufacturing small, they were small manufacturers of garments. During COVID, their business started collapsing because there was no demand. People were not shopping, right? But then what they did is, with limited staff, they started producing masks. Then gradually they started adding value and they started producing designer masks. Then they started producing, PPE kits, gloves, and all such type of products, right? So instead of cribbing that, pandemic hai, lockdown hai, business nahi chal raha hai, there were few who found out alternative opportunities, right? And these are the people who are aggressive catalysts for change within the marketplace. They challenge the unknown and they continuously create future for themselves. Let me give you the example. There is a very famous travel company in Gujarat by the name of Ajay Modi. He's a very old, more than 30-40-year-old business into travel, and one of the very, very reputed travel agencies, right? During lockdown, during COVID, travel business, we all know how badly the travel industry suffered, right? So his business also completely stopped. So what he did is, he had a meeting with his team. He discussed with his team that, we have a big office, we have a good staff. So what can we do with this infrastructure and with the staff that we have? So he did a brainstorming session with the staff to find out what skills the staff has and what they can do during pandemic if they are not selling the travel plans, right? And after a lot of brainstorming, collectively, the team came up with an idea, and he converted his entire office, an entire travel office, into an infrastructure where they started selling Gujarati snacks, and that business also picked up so well during pandemic, right? So understand one thing, friends, that travel and selling snacks are completely unrelated, right? But in his travel business, maximum staff were female employees. and he understood that females are very good with, you know, snacks and food related items and things. So that is how he converted a diversity that had come to his business during pandemic into an opportunity by converting his office into a shop selling Gujarati snacks. So that needs an entrepreneurial mindset. That needs a bent of mind where you can think in a creative, innovative manner, where you can take a risk and convert a problem into an opportunity, right? So that is what he did. Now, let me show you some names. I'm sure all of you have heard these brands, right? Uber, Oyo, Paperboat, Paytm, Zomato, Grofers, Ola, Free Recharge. What is common among all of them? What is common among all of them? Anybody? Okay. They are all startups. Yes, Bhanu Pratap, you're absolutely right. They are all startups, right?
And there are delivery, like everybody does delivery, like from Uber also does food delivery, Zomato, Grofers. They do from door to door services.
Right. So they are the ones who challenge the status quo, right? They are the ones who challenge the status quo. See, if you talk about Grofers, what do they sell?
Vegetables,
Right?
fruits and vegetables.
Fruits, vegetables, groceries. So the product is not new, right? The product is not new, but they came out with a new process by which a customer can order online and receive the products at any time at his doorstep. Yes or no? So that is what I'm trying to explain, that, you know, as a startup, you have to challenge the status quo. Don't take up what everybody is doing, right? Don't take up what everybody is doing. Try to, you know, do something different, disruptive, for which you see there is a potential in the market, right? They all are mediators between the product and public, right? They use their user customer base solving only one laser focused solution, right? Now, if you look at a startup, Government of India has clearly given a definition of startup. Why? Because not anybody who starts a business can avail the benefits of startup under various schemes that are offered by the government, right? So if you look at the startup, how the government has defined a startup. So before that, as a layman, if I ask you who is a startup, what will be your answer? How do you define a startup as a layman? Anybody? How do you define a startup as a layman?
जो मैम खुद का प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस मार्केट में खुद अपने से लॉन्च किया, अपने रिस्क लेके.
Okay, all right. और कुछ कोई ऐड करेगा इसमें?
Working on an idea and sell something.
Working on the idea, okay.
One thing जो कि सोसाइटी में अभी भी परसिस्ट करता है ये नॉर्म्स की, जिसको जॉब नहीं मिला स्टार्टअप्स लेके बैठ गया, अपना स्टार्टअप खोल के बैठ गया. It is still there, ma'am. This mindset is there.
Yes. See, India will take a lot of time to evolve in terms of mindset, stereotypes, and all these things are concerned, right? So you're absolutely right. So when you talk about startup as a layman, company, partnership, or temporary organization which is designed to search for a repeatable and scalable business model. Please understand one thing, repeatable and scalable. See, for example, you know, आपका जो कैंपस है उसके बाहर मान लो कोई चाय की किटली लेके अपना खुद का कुछ स्टार्ट करता है, हाँ, he sets up a tea stall outside your college campus. So consider it as a startup. Somebody opens a tea stall outside your campus. Is it a startup?
Yes, ma'am. According to him, it's a startup.
Somebody has written yes, somebody has written no. Of confusion. Startup कौन होगा, given a clear definition of startup. Please understand one thing, आप कुछ भी शुरू कर दोगे वो startup नहीं कहलाएगा. You have to fall under certain criteria laid down by Government of India. that clear? And what do you mean by scalable? It should have the potential to grow, right? So if it is not scalable as a startup, but it has a plan, he or she has a plan of, taking orders online. Then, he has a plan that within 1 year, I will open 5 outlets in the city. And then, 25 outlets like MBA Chaiwala, Tea Post, right? They are considered as startups. But किसी ने भी आपके campus के बाहर चाय की दुकान खोल ली तो वो startup नहीं कहलाएगा. So please understand, all of you, especially the students who are sitting here, that, Government of India, according to Ministry of Commerce and Industry, DPII, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, they have given a definition of startup with some criteria. You are eligible to be a startup when you are registered or incorporated in India. For example, you must have heard that, many... Bhattacharya ji, please mute yourself.
Please mute yourself. Please. If you have any question, please ask at the end of the session. Please.
So you can be eligible for startups only if you are registered or incorporated in India. You must be reading in newspapers that, in many countries like Singapore, the process of registration is very fast and simple. So many companies, they prefer getting registered in Singapore, right? But they will not fall under the startup. They will not be eligible for any benefit of government under the Startup India scheme, right? So you should be registered or incorporated in India. You should not be more than 10 years old. For example, today somebody graduates from IIT and says that my father has a, we have a family business of 50-year-old family business. So I want to join that business. It will not be considered as a startup. It should be less than 10-year-old. Annual turnover should not exceed 100 crore in any financial year. And fourth point is very important. You should be working towards innovation, development, or improvement of products, process, or service. And it should be a scalable business model with huge potential of employment generation and wealth creation, right? So your idea should be innovative, scalable. And that is why, see, when you go for pitching your idea, people ask that, prepare a business plan of 5 years or 7 years so that we can evaluate the strength of your business plan and we can see what are the growth opportunities that you have projected for your business idea, right? So it should be scalable and it should have a potential to generate employment and wealth. Is that clear, all of you? Creating value, an idea that is new to you. Okay, Mr. Kashif wanted to ask anything or what? Kashif?
Yes, ma'am.
Please boliye.
Ma'am, can you say that startups are founded by one or more entrepreneurs who want to develop product or service? For believe there is demand.
Yeah, see, मैंने आपको बोला ना, when I say scalable business model का मतलब क्या है कि whatever idea that you are planning to pursue, आपको अपने business plan में ये दिखाना होगा कि 3 साल, 5 साल, 7 साल में कितना growth potential आप expect कर रहे हो business में, right? अगर वो growth potential है तभी वो business scalable है. अगर आपका business scalable नहीं होगा तो कोई भी investor उसमें invest करेगा नहीं करेगा. आपने शार्क टैंक इंडिया देखा होगा, आई थिंक फर्स्ट सीजन जो आया था शार्क टैंक का, उसमें काफी बिजनेस आइडियाज शार्क्स को अच्छे लग रहे थे, बट उसमें ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल नहीं था, इसीलिए उन्होंने उन आइडियाज में इन्वेस्ट नहीं किया था. काशिफ, इज दैट क्लियर टू यू?
यस मैम.
राइट. सो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, स्केलेबिलिटी जो है वो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है आपके बिजनेस आइडिया का. उसमें वो पोटेंशियल होना चाहिए कि आप दिखा पाओ कि किस तरह से ये प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में जाके डिमांड क्रिएट करेगा और कैसे ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ 3, 5 और 7 years you feel that it will grow in the market, right? So these criteria are to be fulfilled by your business idea or a startup so that you become eligible to register yourself under startup India scheme, right? Okay, now moving ahead. इससे थोड़ा और improved होगा. India is the third largest startup system in the world, right? तो पूरे world में India is at number 3 position. And DPIIT, ये देखिए मैंने लिखा ना 28,000 plus startups are recognized by DPIIT. ये वो startups हैं जो ये government के चारों criteria fulfill कर रहे हैं. ऐसे तो बहुत सारे businesses नए create होते हैं, वो अपने आप को बोलते हैं we are a startup, right? But if they are not, if they don't fulfill these 4 criteria, they will not be eligible for any scheme that is announced by Government of India for startups. Is that clear? India is home to 32 unicorns, where valuation is more than 1 billion, right? So these are some of the women entrepreneurs are coming up in a big way. More than 43% of the total startups in India have women directors, right? And look at the next slide. These are the top 5 industries in which more startups are coming up and
सिंपल वे में लोग को प्रेजेंट करके उनको काम सिखा रहा हूँ और इसी को वॉल्यूम एक वॉल्यूम बिजनेस बनाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ.
Great.
Door to door production.
Right. So Sailesh ji, I wish you all the very best and we really look forward to see you in Shark Tank. Congratulations and best wishes.
Thank you.
All
Thank you,
right. So yes, so that is how it works. Great to know this. Moving ahead. Now, if you look at the ranking of different states, right? Gujarat is best performer. Then Karnataka, Kerala are top performers. And then, leaders and aspiring leaders are also there. So you see, where your state belongs. So if I talk about Indian startup ecosystem in general, most of the progressive states are working hard candidates into a job, right? So India can become self-sufficient only when we create more and more startups, right? And then these startups can further create employment opportunities. So just, for your information. Now, when you look at some key aspects of a startup, the core 3 things that you should consider is, one is yourself as a startup. Which problem are you planning to address? And how is that problem going to relieve customers' pain point? ये चीज आपको हमेशा याद रखनी है. आपका आइडिया, आपको लगता है कि मेरा आइडिया बहुत ही अफलातून आइडिया है, right? But will that idea address the pain point of a customer? That is something which you have to ask yourself, because a customer will be willing to pay money only when he sees value in your प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस, राइट? अगर कस्टमर को आज हमारे पास व्हीकल, खुद की कार होते हुए भी हम ओला उबर से क्यों ट्रैवल करते हैं? बिकॉज इट गिव्स कन्वीनियंस, राइट? मतलब मैं बैंगलोर जैसे शहर में आप 2-3 घंटा ड्राइव करके जाओ, इतने ट्रैफिक में परेशान होके जाओ, इससे अच्छा है कि आप कैब बुक कर लो, राइट? पार्किंग की प्रॉब्लम होती है अगर आप मार्केट के अहमदाबाद जैसे शहर में विच इज नॉट टू मच populated in terms of vehicles, but still parking is a major issue. So if I have to go to market for shopping, I prefer taking up a cab. Why? Because then I don't have to worry कि vehicle कहाँ park करना है, क्या करना है. So they have addressed a consumer's pain point. Is that clear? Kashif, you want to say anything?
Yes, ma'am.
बोलिए.
आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप से कैसे डिपेंड है, मतलब कैसे कनेक्ट है?
बेटा आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस जो है इट इज अ वेरी वेरी ग्रोइंग एरिया. सी आजकल हम बात करें स्मार्ट सिटीज की, स्मार्ट हर चीज स्मार्ट बन रही है ना आजकल, इसीलिए लोग थोड़े से स्टूपिड होते चले जा रहे हैं. आजकल देखो पीपल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट क्रिएटिंग स्मार्ट सिटीज, क्रिएटिंग स्मार्ट होम्स. तो वो कैसे पॉसिबल होगा? विद द हेल्प ऑफ रोबोटिक्स एंड आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस. यस और नो?
यस मैम. मैम
फॉर
ये इंडिया,
एग्जाम्पल फॉर एग्जाम्पल अभी लोग ऐसे स्मार्ट होम्स बना रहे हैं कि मैं घर पहुंचती हूँ ऑफिस से शाम को 7 बजे, मेरा घर पूरा दिन बंद होता है, नोबडी इज देयर एट होम, सो बिफोर हाफ एन आवर एसी चालू हो जाना चाहिए ताकि मैं 7 बजे घर पहुंचू, तब मेरा घर ठंडा मिले मुझे. राइट मेरे घर पहुंचते ही हाँ बोलिए.
मैम इज इट पॉसिबल?
यस. Is it people are developing products with using artificial intelligence?
Is it available in India?
Yes. Smart city project जो है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का, वो क्या है? What is this smart city project? See, Kalyan has written that he is already working on it. राइट आप देखिए काशिफ, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस जो है उस पे तो बहुत काम हो रहा है. ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी, वर्चुअल रियलिटी. अभी आप देखो लॉकडाउन के टाइम पे घर पे बैठे बैठे लोग गंगा आरती अटेंड कर रहे हैं, सोमनाथ की आरती अटेंड कर रहे हैं. कैसे? बिकॉज ऑफ ऑगमेंटेड एंड वर्चुअल रियलिटी. मैंने घर पे बैठे बैठे मेरी बेटी को अफ्रीकन सफारी का लुफ्त उठाने दिया था, ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ द हेल्प ऑफ AR एंड VR. राइट इसी तरह से आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस हैज आल्सो बिकम अ पार्ट ऑफ आवर लाइफ. एंड Kalyan has rightly said that by 2025 it will be very very common in India also. So Kashif, you can read little more on that, but yes, it is available in India and people have started using it in a big way, right? Okay, yes. Kashif?
Okay, done.
Yeah. नाउ मैं एक छोटी सी स्टोरी आपको दिखाना चाहूंगी. मैं ज्यादातर ये स्टोरी अपने स्टार्टअप्स के साथ जब इंटरेक्ट करती हूँ तो मैं उनके साथ शेयर करती हूँ. देखिए. A disappointed Coca-Cola salesman returns from his Middle East assignment. So his friend asked, why weren't you successful with the Arabs? So this man said that when I got posted to the Middle East, I was very confident क्योंकि मिडल ईस्ट में उस समय कोका कोला नहीं था. तो ही सेड के मुझे ऐसा लगा कि वहां पे क्योंकि मिडल ईस्ट में कोका कोला ड्रिंक्स है ही नहीं तो मेरा प्रोडक्ट बहुत सक्सेसफुल हो जाएगा. बट देन ही सेड कि मुझे उनकी अरेबिक लैंग्वेज बोलनी नहीं आती थी. सो हाउ ही कम्युनिकेटेड द मैसेज, ही क्रिएटेड 3 posters. फर्स्ट पोस्टर, a man is lying in a hot desert sand totally exhausted. In the second poster, a man is drinking Coca-Cola, and in the third poster, the man is totally refreshed. So his friend said कि ये तो बहुत बढ़िया आइडिया रहा भाई, आपको लैंग्वेज नहीं आती थी, you didn't know the language, so what you did is you created 3 posters. So because it is अरेबियन कंट्री, वहां बहुत डेजर्ट होता है, धूप होती है, तो पहले पोस्टर में है धूप से परेशान आदमी एकदम बेहोश होके पड़ा हुआ है, जैसे ही उसने कोका कोला पिया वो एकदम तंदुरुस्त और रिफ्रेश्ड हो गया. सो हिज फ्रेंड सेड दैट फिर प्रॉब्लम क्या हुआ, ये आइडिया तो बहुत बढ़िया था. दिस मैन सेड आई डिड नॉट रियलाइज दैट अरब्स रीड फ्रॉम राइट टू लेफ्ट. अरब्स जो होते हैं वो उल्टा पढ़ते हैं, राइट? तो इससे क्या हुआ, एन एनर्जेटिक मैन ऑन ड्रिंकिंग कोका कोला गेट्स फेंटेड. यस और नो? सो व्हाट इज अ लेसन आउट ऑफ दिस फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू?
Without enough survey, don't launch any products.
Right, absolutely right. Very good. Anything else? Am I audible? Suman Roy says I am not audible.
No, ma'am, you are audible.
Can you all hear me? Okay. Under occupation, what problems he's facing, what brands he or she is using, his media habits, everything. Collect as much so starting point is KYC. ये हमेशा आप लोग याद रखिएगा. Now let me give you one example. What is this? What can you see on the screen?
Easy phone.
Easy phone, right? ये आपको प्रोडक्ट क्या है? बहुत डिस्टर्बेंस आ रहा है. Can you please type in the chat box? I'm not able to hear you. Somebody has written it's a phone. Suman Roy, I think there is some problem with your laptop.
Suman Roy, you can rejoin the meeting. Leave the meeting and then join again. You will be able to listen.
All right. So now see, this phone, the name of this phone is Easy Phone. In the age of smartphones, where all these big companies like whether you talk about Apple with iPhone or Chinese brands like Xiaomi or Samsung, OnePlus, all of them are fighting in the market where they keep competing with one another by coming out with one or the other superior models of smartphones. So in this competitive market, Easy Phone decided to challenge the status quo. What they did is, firstly, yes, Ankush, absolutely right. They decided to come out with a mobile phone for senior citizens because senior citizens are not very comfortable using touchscreen based smartphones. Secondly, their requirements are very minimalistic, right? So they don't need all these high-end features which are provided by smartphones. So Easy Phone made a phone for senior citizens. Right now, looking at the phone, can you tell me what can be the features of this phone? क्या features होंगे इस phone में? Phone देखिए आप. बहुत disturbance हो रहा है. Can you please, all of you mute yourself? Please mute yourself and use chat box. Voice assistant and talk back. Big buttons, yes. Big buttons. Anything else? Phone को ध्यान से देखिए picture को. If you look at this phone, you will see that one is the dialing pad. It has very big fonts, right? So that people can easily see. And these fonts are little uthe hue hain wo. So that senior citizens can comfortably roll their fingers and use the buttons easily. Kashif has written it is Garibo ka iPhone. I don't want to comment on that, but the phone is made for senior citizens, right? Big icons, yes. And then you can see SOS at the back, and in the front there are pictures. So you can select pictures of 4 emergency contact numbers. So कभी हड़बड़ी में मान लो क्या होता है ना, जब भी मान लो आपकी तबीयत बिगड़ी है as a senior citizen, right? Searching the number from the contact list becomes difficult. So photo अगर दिखेगी तो वो easily click कर पाएंगे या किसी को भी बता पाएंगे. इसीलिए उसमें photo based system दिया हुआ है. Plus you see the cradle in which the phone is kept. It is a charger. So they don't have to use that wired chargers that all of us use. वो जब भी अपना phone इस cradle में रख देंगे वो charge होता रहेगा अपने आप, right? And the best part of this phone is it was launched in 2015 for 3,375. Right? Look at these features. 2.2-inch display, big font, well-placed photo dialing option, SOS button for emergency, and wireless cradle charger. Now the point is, why am I showing you this example? as I said that, you know, the product should be innovative and it should address customers' pain point. So this was a perfect example where, you know, the company decided to address the problem of senior citizens by coming out with a product which was absolutely in requirements with the need of senior citizens. Is that clear? Right? So that is why the product became very successful and it was affordable. See, आज अगर आपके घर में आपके दादा दादी हैं, आप अगर उनको बोलोगे कि 30-35 हजार का 25 हजार का फोन खरीदना है, they feel it is a waste of money, right? So for them, a mobile phone which is of, you know, 5-7,000 is a good phone. So the phone addressed that price sensitivity issue also. And that is the reason that Easy Phone became a successful product in the market for senior citizens. Right? Now, when somebody is asking why Nokia failed, somebody is asking that why Nokia failed. Nokia failed because it was not able to adapt to the changing demands of the market. थोड़ा सा टाइम दीजिए, आने वाली स्लाइड्स में हम इसको थोड़ा डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे, राइट? सो दिस इज इजी फोन. यू हैव टू सॉल्व कस्टमर्स पेन पॉइंट, offer value which a customer appreciates so that he or she is willing to pay money. One more example, Bolt. Bolts जो है, it was named as one of the top 10 innovative startups of 2019. Now what Bolt did, a very, you know, I would say a very smart business idea. Bolt came up with world's first mobile phone charger for motorbikes. Now see, जिस तरह से हमारी कंट्री में मोबाइल का कंजम्पशन बढ़ रहा है, राइट, मोबाइल चार्जर जो है उसकी अहमियत आप सब जानते होंगे, राइट? कहीं भी आप जा रहे हो, आप पहले अपना चार्जर रखते हो बैग में, बिकॉज आपको पता है 100% चार्ज होगा फोन, फिर भी शाम तक वो बैटरी डाउन हो जाने वाली है, इतना ज्यादा हम उसको यूज करते हैं. सो दिस टीम ऑफ बोल्ट फाउंडर्स, दे थॉट दैट, यू नो, व्हाई नॉट हैव एन मोबाइल चार्जर फॉर पीपल हु ड्राइव टू व्हीलर्स, बिकॉज कार में तो होता है मोबाइल चार्जिंग फैसिलिटी, बाइक्स में नहीं होती है. But understand, when I said value to the customer, what is customer's pain point? The one pain point was बाइक्स में चार्जिंग हम कैसे करें. तो उन्होंने क्या किया, चार्जर बनाया बाइक्स के लिए. बट देन दे रियलाइज दैट, यू नो, जैसे आपने देखा होगा जो लोग हेलमेट यूज करते हैं बाइक चलाते समय, वो लोग अपनी जगह पे पहुंचने के बाद क्या करते हैं, हेलमेट को लॉक कर देते हैं बाइक के साथ. बिकॉज इंडिया में the fear of things getting stolen is very high. So now the company thought कि भाई ये तो चार्जर है, मोबाइल में लगा रहेगा तो कोई भी इसको निकाल के लेके जा सकता है. So they created a detachable charger, detachable design which prevents theft or misuse. And secondly, what they did is they created Bolt Riders app. That is where innovation comes, right? वो सिर्फ normal charger नहीं था, उन्होंने Bolt Rider app create किया, which can track the entire ride, total distance covered, average speed, and so many other factors. And that is the reason that it became the top 10 innovative startups of 2019. And now in 2020, the market share is increasing gradually. So why I gave you these examples? Because to make you understand that, you know, जरूरी नहीं है कि आपका प्रोडक्ट टेक्निकली बहुत, जैसे ये चार्जर, मोबाइल चार्जर, it is not a very big manufactured product using, you know, very great technology, right? So try to see the everyday problems in your life. Try to see around and find out कि भाई आपके इर्द गिर्द लोगों को किस तरह के प्रॉब्लम्स फेस करते हैं, वो क्या उन प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व करने के लिए आप कोई ऐसा प्रोडक्ट या आइडिया निकाल सकते हैं which can relieve consumers pain point, generate value for them so that they are willing to spend money on your business idea. Is that clear, all of you? Are you all with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay, but then एक बात आपको हमेशा याद रखनी होगी, जैसे मैंने आपको स्टार्टिंग में बताया था कि you have huge potential to earn money as a startup, right? अगर आपका आइडिया सक्सेसफुल होता है तो. But startup is not a bed of roses. There are lots of challenges. Now look at this slide. This is based on the analysis of 101 startup failures. Top 10 reasons why startups fail. Just I'm giving you 1 minute's time. आप एक बार स्क्रीन पे पढ़िए ये reasons. Okay. Now use chat box to tell me which is the most common reason why startups fail. Most common reason why startups fail. No market need, okay? See, most of the startups fail because they are not able to solve the customer's problems. Right? They are not able to solve the customer problems, or they are offering a product which a customer does not want. For example, no market need. मतलब आपने ऐसा product बनाया है जिसकी market में need ही नहीं है. There was a Bangalore-based startup. They decided to come out with smokeless cigarettes. And they thought that they made huge estimates because they thought that smokeless cigarettes hongi, so there is less harm and you can consume it openly. But when the product was introduced in the market, it failed miserably. Why? Because smokers said that, if there is no smoke, we don't get the feeling that we are smoking. So as simple as that, right? So there is no need, no market need. User unfriendly product. आपका product इतना complicated है कि customers को use करने में जमता ही नहीं है. Product without a business model, poor marketing, you are ignoring customers, right? Product mistime. For example, आपको पता है Rediff shopping जो है, Rediff mail करके था. Rediff mail अभी भी है, मतलब Rediff mail was the first e-commerce business in India. Most of you would not know. It started in 90s when, internet came into our country. But the product was so much ahead of its time that Rediff shopping failed. Why? Because internet penetration was poor. Mobile call, एक call का 22-26 रुपया लगता था. उसमें कौन use करेगा online shopping के लिए mobile phone को या internet को? Right? Yes. Lakshmi Narayan knows. Subir Bhatia was the founder of Rediff, right? So somebody was asking you why Nokia failed. Brands like Nokia, Kodak, all of them failed because they were not able to adapt to the changing market requirements. जब smartphones, see, आपने देखा होगा BlackBerry हो या Nokia हो, they were all very, very successful mobile phone companies in the beginning, right? But over a period of time, for example, ये ड्यूअल सिम वाला कौन सा आया था मोबाइल में, नाम भूल गई. I forgot the name. Which was that company which came out with first dual SIM? No, it was not Spice. खैर अभी मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है नाम. The point is that big brands like Nokia, even Kodak. आपको पता है Kodak company क्या करती थी? What was Kodak known for?
Camera.
They had those rolls, camera rolls, right? Kodak के rolls आते थे. Now, because of digital revolution, Kodak ruled market for more than 70 years. 70 years तक Kodak market leader था इंडिया में. लेकिन जब digitalization हुआ, ये digital cameras आने लग गए, फिर मोबाइल फोन में स्मार्ट कैमरास आने लग गए. What happened is Kodak thought that we are market leaders, nothing would happen to us. So Kodak did not adapt to change, and so it failed to an extent that now the company is shut down. तो आप सोचो, मार्केट इज हाईली अनप्रेडिक्टेबल. आप 70 इयर्स तक आप मार्केट लीडर थे, नंबर 1 थे, बट सडनली डिजिटलाइजेशन आया, आपने अपने आप को नहीं बदला, एंड द कंपनी शट डाउन. सेम थिंग हैपेंड विद नोकिया आल्सो. व्हेन स्मार्टफोन्स केम, राइट, टच स्क्रीन वाले कम वेट के पतले स्लीक मोबाइल फोन्स आने लगे. नोकिया को बहुत टाइम लगा अपने आप को बदलने में, इसीलिए नोकिया का मार्केट जो है वो क्रैश हो गया. Right? So understand that you have to be updated, you have to be very, very flexible. See, वो बोलते हैं ना, it is not the survival of the fittest but survival of the one who is adaptable to change. कोई भी change होता है उसको quickly accept कीजिए, adapt कीजिए, so that you don't become redundant, right? And when you talk about aligning your product with customer requirements, understand that you have to be very, very creative and innovative in your business idea. If you create run of the mill products, what will happen is Initially आपको traction मिलेगा, but over a period of time you will not be able to create a differentiation, and then gradually your business will fail, the demand will start declining. So see to it that you are able to infuse some amount of creativity and innovation in your business. That is very, very important. Now look at these pictures. पहले पिक्चर में आपको क्या दिख रहा है?
शावर का रिप्लेसमेंट, मतलब गरीबों का शावर।
गरीबों का शावर। और दूसरी फोटो में
हम लोग गरीब
जुगाड़।
जुगाड़, absolutely, Ravi Kumar, you are absolutely right. So India is known as a land of जुगाड़,
Yes, ma'am.
right? लेकिन एक चीज जो आपको समझने वाली है वो क्या है? जुगाड़ करो, लेकिन वो जुगाड़ ऐसा होना, फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये पहला वाला जो शावर है, कैन यू मेक बिजनेस एंड मनी आउट ऑफ दिस फर्स्ट प्रोडक्ट?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am, it's
No,
not
ma'am.
looking appealing.
You can only solve your problem. ये क्या हुआ था, किसी गांव में इंडिया में एक गरीब फैमिली में छोटा बच्चा जिद कर रहा था कि मुझे भी शावर से नहाना है। तो अब वो गांव था, फैमिली पुअर थी, तो पापा ने क्या किया, पापा ने बाल्टी में बहुत सारे छेद करवा दिए so that the child gets the feeling of a shower. So it is a जुगाड़, a complete जुगाड़. But you cannot बिजनेस, मैंने आपको क्या बोला, इट हैज टू बी अ स्केलेबल बिजनेस. इसको, ये तो जुगाड़ है, आप जुगाड़ को आप सस्टेनेबल बिजनेस में कन्वर्ट नहीं कर सकते. लेकिन मैं आपको एक और बिजनेस दिखाती हूँ. लुक एट दिस, मिट्टी कूल रेफ्रिजरेटर. इसके बारे में पता है किसी को?
Oh, no.
नहीं, मैं आपको बताती हूँ. गुजरात में, भुज के पास, भुज में 2000 में गुजरात में बहुत भयंकर अर्थक्वेक आया था. आई एम श्योर आप सबको पता होगा. तो उस टाइम पे क्या हुआ था, ये मिट्टी कूल के जो फाउंडर हैं, उनके पापा वो मटके बनाते थे. तो जब अर्थक्वेक आया तो उनके सारे मटके टूट गए. तब क्या हुआ, एक जर्नलिस्ट ने वो टूटे हुए मटकों की फोटो खींच के ऐसे न्यूज में डाला था कि गरीबों का फ्रिज टूट गया. तो तब जो हसमुख भाई थे, मतलब उनका बेटे का नाम हसमुख भाई था, उन्होंने जब ये न्यूज में पढ़ा गरीबों का फ्रिज, तो उनके दिमाग में ये एक आइडिया आया कि ये सही बात है, ये मिट्टी के मटके हम बनाते हैं जिसमें पानी ठंडा रहता है, तो क्या हम मिट्टी का फ्रिज नहीं बना सकते? तो उन्होंने कुछ 4-5 साल कुछ अलग अलग टाइप के एक्सपेरिमेंट्स किए. फिर टेराकोटा क्ले, मिट्टी को यूज करके उन्होंने ये फ्रिज बनाया. क्योंकि गांव में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी सप्लाई कंसिस्टेंट नहीं होता है, प्लस गांव के लोगों की इनकम लिमिटेड होने की वजह से वो लोग इतने महंगे महंगे ब्रांडेड फ्रिज भी नहीं खरीद सकते हैं. सो दैट इज हाउ दिस फ्रिज वाज क्रिएटेड. इट इज अ नेचुरल क्ले रेफ्रिजरेटर मेड फ्रॉम टेराकोटा क्ले. It runs without electricity. It naturally cools fruits, vegetables, milk. And 3-4 दिन तक इसमें दूध और फल सब्जियां खराब नहीं होती हैं. And the price is around 5,000 to 7,000. So this is a sustainable business. अब आपको समझ में आया जुगाड़ और सस्टेनेबल बिजनेस में डिफरेंस क्या है? और अभी तो आप देखिए, अगर आप मिट्टी कूल की वेबसाइट पे जाएंगे तो आपको मिट्टी के बहुत सारे बर्तन दिखेंगे, और दे आर इनटू लॉट ऑफ किचन अप्लायंसेस. मिट्टी का तवा, मिट्टी की कढ़ाई, मिट्टी की बॉटल्स, मटके, फ्रिज. नाउ दे हैव क्रिएटेड अ लाइन ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स यूजिंग टेराकोटा क्ले एंड इट हैज बिकम अ सक्सेसफुल बिजनेस फॉर देम. राइट. तो जो जुगाड़ है उसको आप इस तरह से बनाइए कि वो आपके लिए एक सस्टेनेबल प्रॉफिटेबल बिजनेस बने, तभी. तो दैट इज वेयर क्रिएटिविटी कम्स इनटू पिक्चर. लक्ष्मी नारायण, यू वांट टू से एनीथिंग? Water cooling fridge, right?
Ma'am, the similar thing has been designed by leading company Godrej also, ma'am. They call it Chutkule.
वो छोटू कूल नाम है उसका.
Yeah. That is also they specifically designed this product for rural India, ma'am.
Yes, you are right. The name of that product is Chotu Cool.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. And this is Mitti Cool. It is made out of terracotta clay. So, some amount of creativity and innovation has to go into your business idea. Now, the point is, if I ask you that, what is the difference between creativity, innovation, and invention? What will be your answer? As a startup entrepreneur, it is very important for you to understand these terms and use them in your business. एनीबडी, इन्वेंशन क्या होता है?
नया चीज को बनाना जो नहीं है, जब तक जो चीज नहीं है
राइट,
उसे बनाना।
राइट। सो इन्वेंशन का मतलब है कि दुनिया में पहली बार कोई चीज जब बनती है तब। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू नो, somebody invented electricity, somebody invented train engine, somebody invented television. So something that comes to the world for the very first time is known as invention. What is creativity? What is creativity?
Imagination of something.
Right. So creativity is, you are just talking about imaginative ideas in your mind. For example, you know, आपके दिमाग में बहुत सारे कुछ भी ideas आ सकते हैं ना. There is no limit to thinking and creativity. And what is innovation? Anybody?
Add some new feature to the thing that is already existing.
Okay. Anything else? Innovation क्या होता है? Innovation is when you are able to commercialize your creative idea. That is what is known as innovation. For example, you know, there is a company by the name of Stentra. It thought of a creative idea कि जब आप कहीं travel करते हैं तो आप अलग अलग टाइप के जूते अपने साथ, for example, you know, suppose you are going to Goa. आप जब गोवा जाते हो तो आपको कितने अलग अलग टाइप के जूते अपने साथ लेके जाने पड़ते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ट्रैवल के लिए आप फ्लोटर्स लेके जाओगे, बीच के लिए आपके पास कोई और होंगे फुटवेयर जो यू नो पानी में खराब ना हो. फिर आप शाम को वहां डिस्कोथेक में जाओगे, पब में जाओगे, तो आप मतलब स्मार्ट जूते पहन के जाओगे. मॉर्निंग वॉक के लिए जाओगे गोवा बीच पे तो आपको बीच वैसा स्पोर्ट्स वेयर भी चाहिए. तो भैया आपका एक बैग तो जूतों से ही भर जाएगा. यस और नो? और ये हम सबके साथ होता है. अभी आप देखो, कोई शादी में, कोई सोशल फंक्शन में आपको जाना है, फ्लाइट के सैंडल अलग, शादी के 3 दिन के 3 ड्रेस के सैंडल अलग, तो कितना सामान. it is true, absolutely true, right? So what this Scantra did is they created foldable footwear. उनके वो बोलते हैं कि आप उनको फोल्ड करके आपकी पॉकेट की जेब में रख लो, वैसे फुटवेयर होते हैं वो. एंड दे आर मेड आउट ऑफ सम रिसाइकल्ड प्रोडक्ट्स. राइट. सो द पॉइंट इज, ये तो आपके किसी ने इमेजिनेशन, क्रिएटिविटी किसी की होगी कि भाई ऐसे जूते बन सकते हैं जो एकदम कॉम्पैक्ट हो. बट सेंट्रा ने क्या किया? दे कन्वर्टेड दैट क्रिएटिविटी इनटू अ कॉमर्शियलाइज्ड बिजनेस. रवि कुमार बोल रहा है, मैम मैं कभी नहीं गया इतने सारे जूते लेके. बहुत बढ़िया रवि जी, लेकिन मुझे तो चाहिए होता है भाई, क्योंकि देखिए लेडीज को ना हर चीज में मैचिंग चाहिए होता है. आई एम श्योर डॉक्टर है ना. और ये अभी आपकी जो चौधरी मैडम है वो भी मुस्कुरा रही थी, और सिन्हा मैडम ने तो हाँ ही बोल दिया.
मैम अभी रिसेंटली मैं एक वेडिंग में गई थी, मेरा एक बैग सिर्फ शूज का था.
हाँ, देखो कल्याण, देखो, one चप्पल is enough for people like you, not for us.
No ma'am, it's not enough for ladies. एक बर्थडे के लिए भी नया ड्रेस के साथ मैचिंग करके शू खरीदना ही पड़ता है.
बिल्कुल. तो इसी प्रॉब्लम को एड्रेस करने के लिए सेंट्रा ने फोल्डेबल फुटवेयर क्रिएट किए. सो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज, नाउ गो टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. Innovation is turning a new concept into commercial success of widespread use. मतलब आपके दिमाग में कोई भी खुराफाती आइडिया आ सकता है, which is creativity. लेकिन अगर आप उस आइडिया को कॉमर्शियलाइज बना सकते हैं और वो सक्सेसफुल वेंचर हो सकता है, तभी वो इनोवेशन कहलाएगा, अदरवाइज नहीं. सो योर आइडिया शुड बी सच दैट इट कैन बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू अ कॉमर्शियल सक्सेस, देन ओनली इट इज नोन एज एन इनोवेटिव आइडिया. Is that clear, all of you?
Yes ma'am.
Yes ma'am.
Right? Okay, all right. So ultimately, this is how it moves, right? You create new ideas and concepts. Then कई बार आपने देखा होगा, देखो जो साइंटिस्ट होते हैं, जो रिसर्च लैब में काम करते हैं, वो लोग अपने लेबोरेटरी में कितने सारे इन्वेंशन करते हैं, राइट? इतने सारे वो लोग इन्वेंशन करते हैं, लेकिन those inventions are created and they die in the laboratory because scientists do not have entrepreneurial acumen to commercialize these inventions, right? लेकिन अगर आप वो invention को consumer के pain point से map कर देते हैं, तो क्या होगा? वो commercial success बन जाएगा, and then it is known as an innovation, and then you will be able to invest more into that business idea. So that is very, very important. Another thing that you have to keep in mind is product market fit. See to it that your product becomes a perfect fit for the market, meaning you have to identify a problem that is sizable group of people are really facing and you want to solve it. For example, अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं ऐसे कौन से स्टार्टअप्स थे जो पैंडेमिक में बहुत सक्सेसफुल हो गए, आप मुझे कुछ नाम बताएंगे रैंडमली? मतलब they were there before also, but during pandemic they became very successful.
Sanitizers, ma'am.
Sanitizers, yes, all of a sudden the need came. So जो कंपनी जैसे डाबर जैसी कंपनी जो सैनिटाइजर बनाती नहीं थी, they also started selling sanitizers. Unacademy, absolutely right Gaurav, right? Unacademy बहुत पॉपुलर हो गया. Why? Because they started understanding that अभी लोग घर पे बैठे हैं, फ्री हैं, तो people can take up lot of courses, right? Zoom, because Zoom became a call of the time, right? Then Paytm, everybody started using Paytm, right? Patanjali and lot of companies made immunity boosting product. For example, Amul का दूध इतना famous था, Amul ने क्या किया, हल्दी वाला दूध launch कर दिया, because वो demand था. So the point is product market fit का मतलब है वैसे products बनाइए जो market की problem को address करके उन्हें solve कर पाए. A product that can be built well to fully solve the problem, right? A business model that can be executed to be profitable at some point in time. That is what product market fit is all about. Up consumer growers, yes, urban company. See, urban company became so popular, right? पहले तो they were into limited services. Now you name a service and they are available, right? Whether it is an AC repair or a TV repair, or you want to go for body grooming or anything, they offer, right? Diwali ke time pe they come and clean your houses. So urban company also became very, very popular. Companies like Samsung, they created DIY videos. के पैंडेमिक के टाइम पे अगर आपको घर पे बुलाने में डर लग रहा है किसी को, तो DIY वीडियोस उन्होंने अपनी वेबसाइट यूट्यूब पे अपलोड किए, जिसको देख के आप अपने आप बेसिक रिपेयरिंग आपके टीवी, फ्रिज और एसी का खुद कर सकते हैं. सो दैट इज व्हाट द पॉइंट इज दैट आपका इनोवेटिव आइडिया होना चाहिए ऐसा कि जो मार्केट की प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर पाए. द प्रोडक्ट शुड फिट into the requirements of the market. That is very, very important, right? Now this is something I miss, I'll focus on this. Then एक चीज होती है proof of concept, एक होता है minimum viable product. What is proof of concept? पता है किसी को? POC क्या होता है? Proof of concept.
It's the first stage before the patenting of any product.
Okay, all right. See, proof of concept क्या होता है? It is a written description of your idea. In a simple term, if I say, it is a written description of your idea. For example, creativity की मैंने बात की, right? You think that, okay, for example, I have an idea that मैंने अभी जो Santra का example दिया था, that I will make foldable footwear. So वो एक imaginative idea है ना, लेकिन अगर आप investors के पास जाओगे, paperwork, right? If you go to an investor for pitching, if you say that, I have an idea of making foldable footwear, they will ask you, how will it work? What will it do? तो वो प्रोडक्ट आपका जो आइडिया है उसके important features, value proposition, benefits, कैसे आप उसको execute करोगे, that you have to describe in writing. That is what is known as proof of concept, right? And you discuss that idea with people, you share that proof of concept with investors, you take opinion of mentors on your idea. And once that idea is finalized, once you get a green flag for your proof of concept, you start working on a prototype, right? And जब आप वो prototype बनाना शुरू करते हो, तो उसमें आप बनाते हो minimum viable product, because you want to test the assumptions that you have made on your idea. So minimum viable product क्या होता है? It is generally the basic version, a plain basic version of your product without any topping. For example, it is like a vanilla ice cream or a simple pizza, which does not have any other topping on it. But it will give all the benefits to the product which your full-fledged product will give, right? So that is what is known as minimum viable product. अब क्या होता है? Minimum means building the product with the smallest amount of resources and viable enough to prove that it can solve the consumer's problem. Now, generally, why we propose MVP? क्योंकि क्या होता है ना कि जब आप अगर आप फुल वर्जन अपने प्रोडक्ट का क्रिएट कर देते हैं, फिर अगर कस्टमर्स उसमें चेंजेस करवाते हैं, तो यू हैव ऑलरेडी स्पेंट लॉट ऑफ मनी ऑन इट, राइट? सो टू अवॉइड दैट वेस्टेज ऑफ इंपॉर्टेंट रिसोर्सेज लाइक टाइम, money and energy, what you do is you create a very, very basic version of your product which can give the experience of a product to the customer, and they can understand what is in store for them if they try your product. That is known as a minimum viable product. And once the MVP is approved, once you get a green flag for your MVP, then you can go ahead with the final version of the product. जैसे आप ऐप बनाते हैं तो आपके वर्जन्स होते हैं ना, बीटा वर्जन, अल्फा वर्जन, राइट? तो ऐसे बेसिक वर्जन आप पहले बनाइए जिसमें लिमिटेड रिसोर्सेज हो, बेसिक फीचर्स हो, so that customers can understand what this product is going to be, right? So you have to understand that how do you create a MVP and break down your product into two parts. One core aspect is must have, second one is nice to have. So your MVP should have must have features. What do you mean by must have? Must have means essential features which are important for the product to function, which will differentiate your product from the competitors. And nice to have are all those fancy value added features which can be added to your MVP at a later stage. For example, you may have different designs, different size, different shape, different colors, because they are nice to have. A consumer will get a lot of options. But when I say must have means core important features which will define the functionality to address the consumer pain point and generate value for the consumer. Is that clear, all of you? Are you all getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. And ultimately, you have to validate all your ideas, right? Please understand that, not all ideas are great, but at the same time, no idea is a bad idea. You have to talk to as many people as possible. Don't hang on to your sweet idea. As I said, that don't be blindly in love with your idea. कि नहीं मेरा idea तो धांसू ही होगा, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है. Be open to changes, be open to criticism, be open to constructive feedback. And ultimately, when you talk about a vitality of a startup idea, your idea can fall under any of these three categories. It can be an oxygen idea. Oxygen idea means वैसे ideas पे आप काम करते हैं कि जो customers के लिए inevitable हो जाते हैं. For example, today if I say WhatsApp, Instagram, Google, they have become an inevitable part of our life, right? You cannot imagine your life without these. So they are oxygen ideas. Then there are aspirin ideas. Aspirin ideas are those ideas which will ease your pain. They will solve the consumer's problems, right? But they are not essential for survival. So all these, fancy products that we use that relieves your pain. For example, you use Zomato. So is Zomato an inevitable part of your life? No, but it gives you convenience. So it eases your pain of going to the restaurant and ordering, right? So it is an aspirin. And jewelry is strictly luxury. So if somebody is working on an idea which will be very, very premium luxury product or service, then that idea will be considered as a jewelry idea. Many a times it may happen, if you're lucky enough, an aspirin idea may be converted into an oxygen idea over a period of time, right? But ultimately, it is like how badly your consumers would need what you are planning to sell would determine the vitality of your startup idea. So you have to understand that very, very well. And lastly, if plan A doesn't work, the alphabet has 25 more letters. So just stay cool and calm. Understand that, even big brands have failed in the market. Let me quickly give you an example. For example, you all are aware about Kellogg's. Kellogg's का नाम सबने सुना है. Kellogg's is known for cornflakes, right? Kellogg's is known for cornflakes, and it is a multinational company. So when Kellogg's decided to enter into the Indian market, Kellogg's thought that, I would present Kellogg's as a breakfast supplement in India, and they decided to target professionals. कि जो working professionals हैं, जो सुबह office जाते हैं, let them have quick breakfast of cornflakes and go to the office. They did not do any market research, market survey, and they simply launched the product in the market. Unfortunately, for 1 year, the product failed to even break even. So what happened is the company really got worried. They thought that, why the product is not performing in the market. So they hired a market research agency to understand the breakfast eating habit. देखो मैंने आपको starting में बोला था ना, starting point is KYC. So they did not do KYC. That is why they failed. So now they hired a research agency to do the KYC. And what happened is this research agency studied breakfast habit of Indians and they came out with an observation that bhaiya India mein we do wo kahavat hai na, your breakfast should be like a king. Eat a very, very heavy breakfast in the morning, right, to start your day. So that research agency said कि भैया इंडिया में तो लोग पराठे, डोसा, इडली वड़ा इस तरह की heavy breakfast करते हैं, and you want them कि आप एक कप दूध में एक मुट्ठी कॉर्नफ्लेक्स डाल के पी लीजिए और आपका ब्रेकफास्ट हो गया. So people will never accept this idea of breakfast, right? So the company realized that yes, it is a mistake. So अब हम क्या करें, हमें तो सिर्फ cornflakes बनाना आता है और कुछ बनाना नहीं आता है. So what they did is second round of research came with an interesting finding that in India mothers run behind the child with a cup of milk every morning. बच्चों को दूध पीना पसंद नहीं है, हम मदर्स बच्चों को चॉकलेट्स नहीं खाने देते. ये कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ प्रॉब्लम की जो थी, बच्चों को चॉकलेट खानी है, मदर्स को दूध पिलाना है बच्चों को, इस आइडिया को कंबाइन करके Kellogg's came out with Choco Kellogg's, which is still a #1 cornflakes product in the market. It became successful, instant hit, because children loved Choco Kellogg's, so that resulted into children asking for milk in the morning. Right? So the point is be very flexible and adaptable to change. अगर कॉर्नफ्लेक्स और Kellogg's भी ये सोचता है कि नहीं भैया हम तो यही प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में चलाएंगे, तो हो सकता है कोडैक और नोकिया की तरह Kellogg's भी fail हो गया हो. But they were very quick to adapt the change. They understood the pulse of the market. They did not force breakfast cereals on professionals. They changed their target market. They targeted children, they targeted mothers, and that is how Choco Kellogg's became a successful brand in the market. So please, all of you understand one thing, entrepreneurship is an exciting journey, but it has lots of ups and downs. So if you have taken a plunge into it, take it with a pinch of salt, take every criticism as a positive feedback, try to work upon it. And believe me, the entire ecosystem in India is open to support creative, innovative, sustainable business ideas. The only thing is you need to be persistent and passionate about whatever you are doing, right? So with this, I think the time is also over. I will end my discussion. Thank you so much, all of you. If you have any questions, I'm open to that. Please share your feedback about the class. Wish you all the very best to all of you. Yes.
Anyone, if you have any question, please ask. Anyone?
Some of them raised questions in between, which I tried to address. So if anything is still left, kindly do that. Share your experience. Lakshmi Narayan, thank you so much for your comment.
Anybody else? Anybody of you want to ask any questions?
I will come whenever your madam calls me. Because you know, जैसे मैंने आपको बोला ना, be passionate about your ideas. So interacting with startups, talking about entrepreneurship is my passion. So I enjoy interacting with startups.
So far we had 3 sessions, and I must say this is the best one.
Thank you so much,
Yes,
Dr. Sinha. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody, any questions? Who wants to ask?
I have a question.
Ma'am, no, ma'am. It was amazing.
One by one, please raise your hand. Sanjeev has raised his hand, so I will give the chance to Sanjeev. Sanjeev Kumar, you may ask your question. Abul Hussain, we will ask later, okay?
Ma'am, Sanjeev Kumar is one of our incubator of ACIC IIT ISL. He has just joined. He's one of the new startups.
Wow, wow. Sanjeev, what is your idea? What are you working on?
Ma'am, I'm working on a Ma'am, I'm developing a product which provide medical grade clean air to the user, to every individual. I'm targeting every individual because as we all know, air pollution is major problem in India and the world.
Right.
So for that, I'm working on a product. Ma'am, my
Very
question
good.
is, yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is, what are the basic courses that an entrepreneur should take for the betterment of their startup? The basic courses which can help him in short and long term both.
देखिए संजीत जी, मैं आपको एक सही बात बताऊं now, because you have already taken a plunge. You know, nothing teaches more than the real field experience.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. तो अब एक बार आप इसमें कूद गए हो ना, तो every day, consider every day as a new course. Every day आपको कोई ना कोई नया एक्सपीरियंस होगा जो आपको बहुत कुछ सिखाएगा, right? But then on the other side, अगर if you really want to, you know, enrich your self academically, I think आपका background क्या है? You are a science, commerce. What is your background?
Ma'am, I have completed my BTech in civil.
अच्छा, ओके. तो सी फाइनेंस में आई थिंक थोड़ा सा आपको सपोर्ट की जरूरत रहेगी. फंक्शनल एरियाज जो है, जैसे सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग हो गया, अकाउंटिंग एंड फाइनेंस हो गया, ये बेसिक चीजें हैं जो एक एंटरप्रेन्योर को आनी ही चाहिए, राइट? अगर आप आगे जाके कोई अकाउंटिंग या फाइनेंस का बंदा भी रख लोगे ना, फिर भी इफ यू आर नॉट कंफर्टेबल रीडिंग द नंबर्स, ही कैन बी फुल यू, राइट? तो बेसिक आप फाइनेंस और अकाउंटिंग के जैसे कोर्स एरा और इन सब पे जो बेसिक मॉड्यूल्स होते हैं, कोर्सेज होते हैं, वो आप कर सकते हैं. सेल्स और मार्केटिंग के आप कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सी, एक चीज याद रखना, एक बार आपने प्रोडक्ट को डेवलप कर दिया, उसके बाद सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग इज समथिंग व्हिच यू विल बी डूइंग एवरी डे इन एंड डे आउट. सो यू नीड टू डेवलप दैट स्किल ऑल्सो, राइट? तो ये तो बेसिक है. बाकी एडवांस लेवल पे आप चाहें तो फिर आप बहुत सारे एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के कोर्सेज होते हैं जो आप कर सकते हैं, फंक्शनल कोर्सेज आप कर सकते हैं रिलेटेड टू योर बिजनेस, राइट? बट बिकॉज आपका इंजीनियरिंग बैकग्राउंड है, आई थिंक अकाउंटिंग, फाइनेंस, सेल्स, मार्केटिंग आपके लिए एकदम मैंडेटरी है, जो आपको आना ही चाहिए. आई होप आई आंसर्ड योर क्वेश्चन.
Okay. Ma'am, and what are the books which you can recommend for entrepreneurs? Like I have read few books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, 0 to 1, and How to Win Friends and Influence People. But what are the other books?
आप कुछ सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स जो हैं उनकी आप बायोग्राफीज रीड कर सकते हैं, जिसमें वो बहुत अच्छे अच्छे अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस शेयर करते हैं. सो आई थिंक दोस बुक्स विल बी रियली हेल्पफुल टू यू. ट्राई टू रीड सर्टेन बुक्स ऑन यू नो creativity, innovation, business and all these things also. These books will also be very very helpful to you. So ये सब चीजें आप कर सकते हैं. For example, you know, एक टिम ब्राउन की एक बुक है चेंज बाय डिजाइन, और एक बुक है मार्क जॉनसन की सीजिंग द वाइट स्पेस, बिजनेस मॉडल इनोवेशन. इस तरह की जो बुक्स हैं वो काफी अच्छी हैं. उसके अलावा इंडियन ऑथर्स की भी बहुत सारी बुक्स हैं, जैसे यू नो द क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग टूल किट है एक, वो बुक आप पढ़ सकते हो. फिर एक वी गणेश की है भाग, which gives you lot of motivation as an entrepreneur, right? तो इस टाइप की हल्की फुल्की बुक्स भी आप पढ़ सकते हो. रश्मि बंसल की बुक्स आप पढ़ सकते हो. So they will not give you some specific inputs related to your subject, but they will give you a lot of idea about how life of an entrepreneur can be.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Thank you
All
very
the
much,
best.
ma'am, for your
All
time.
the best. Yeah.
Anyone else who wants to ask question?
There is a question from Gaurav Bhardwaj. How to develop confidence of communicating one's own idea?
अरे तू हट जा, सब कोई लिख रहा है, मजाक कर रहे हैं.
So see, when you talk about developing or building confidence in your own idea to target your audience, I think that, you know, the more passionate, the more confident you are about your idea, that confidence will come automatically, right? It is just a matter of practice. For example, you know, आप कुछ pitching workshops अगर attend करते हैं तो आपको थोड़ा सा idea आएगा that you know how you can go about presenting your idea more confidently before the crowd. So pitching का workshop मतलब आपके campus से organize करवा सकते हैं जिसमें candidates understand कि अपने idea को share करने के लिए क्या क्या basic चीजें होनी चाहिए, उसका script बना के आप उसको practice करेंगे तो you will get develop more confidence. Anything else?
Anybody else, if you have any question? Salish Sao has raised one question. How can I make or select a best team for my startup?
See, Salish, understand one thing that, you know, that risk and responsibility of selecting a team rests on the entrepreneur himself or herself. The best combination is a combination where you have cross-functional you know, talent with you. For example, if you feel that, you know, you are a tech guy, you can have somebody who is good in marketing, sales, somebody you know, who is good in finance, so that you can complement each other and create a team where all the core functional areas are taken care by the key members only. So cross-functional team jo hai, that is my answer for creating a team for your startups. Is that clear, Salish ji?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Anyone else who wants to ask anything? Vishal ji, you want to ask anything to ma'am?
Vishal, thank you so much for your comment.
It was very great. There was a lot of clarity.
He is also one of our startup. And
great.
Thank you.
Right.
It's very inspiring, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Vishal. Camelia, can we have some videos on so that I can take one screenshot?
Yes, now we will. Perfect. All of you, please turn on your video.
Please turn on your video so can we have a smiling picture of it. Please everyone turn on your video. Nilotpal, Bhattacharya, Ayantika, Rishikesh, Samrat De, Vidhan, Bengia, Mamu. Please everyone start up your video. Please turn on your video, please.
Shall I take now?
Aniruddha Ghosh, myself.
कोई नहीं, जितने कर सकते हैं कोई बात नहीं. Yes, I've taken the photo.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I am Subrata Sekari from SICOM Engineering College, Kolkata, BTech second year student, computer science. Currently, I am running my mobile repairing business with 7 employees. Actually, my aim is to expand my branch or to increase the number of branches. And will there be any problem whenever I will increase my branch?
It is a mobile repairing center.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, you are a part of their incubation center or no, na?
Yes, ma'am. I am a student of SICOM Engineering College, BTech second year.
Acha, okay, you are pursuing. All right, all right. So, is it a simple mobile repairing shop or you offered some other modern facilities also?
All kinds of facilities, ma'am.
Like?
Advanced chip level repairing, touch replacement, okay, and EMC recovery, data recovery, unlocking. Even I unlock iPhones also.
Okay. All right. So I think that, you know, you should start promoting your business online so that, you know, the awareness increases. You can use digital marketing where you can do target marketing based on the areas in your city. That will give you more awareness and you will increase the footfalls in your store. So digital marketing आपको बहुत aggressively use करना पड़ेगा.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Digital marketing में target marketing करिएगा आप location specific filters डाल के, that will give you more visibility online and offline.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. All the best.
Okay.
All right. All right. So thank you so much, all of you. It was great interacting with you all. I wish you all the very best. Thank you, Dr. Akanksha and Ms. Chaudhary, for having me here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
All right.
Big thanks for
Okay.
your time, ma'am. Thank you very
Pleasure,
much.
pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.